Okay, so I have started the class, started the recording. So today we will see another theory on production function. Okay, so this is law of returns to scale. Is my screen visible for you people? Is my screen visible
Yes,
for?
ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Okay. So this is law of returns to scale. So law of returns to scale means, returns means the output, like what that we are going to get it to the scale. Scale means the input proportions, like in what proportion or in what form these inputs are used. If the same way, like there is going to be an increase in the scale alone, like how the returns will be changing. That is what the concept is. So inputs can be of any combination. Okay, so it can be of one labor, 2 acres of land, or two labor, 2 acres of land. Likewise, like the combination. Why? Because we know that already I have said that like we cannot go with any one particular factor of production alone. Like we need a combination of factors of production. So the scale means inputs, that is inputs used, their combination. So it can be of any combination, but proportionately, if the same combination is going to be used and increased, like what will happen to the returns? Like what will happen to the output? That is what is law of returns to scale. So law of returns to scale says that there can be three possibilities. There can be an increasing returns, there can be a constant returns, and there can be a diminishing returns. Okay, so these three possibilities are there. So that is what this theory explains. And now we will see on all the areas or all the places where this will happen, or how this will function in a business. Okay, so we will get to know about all the ideas now. So let me start on the assumptions again. Any theory or any law, it is being framed by the economists based on certain assumptions only. So here also we have certain assumptions. The first one is all factors are variable, but enterprise is fixed. Okay, so all the inputs that is used are variable. That is what, like when increased output is, increased input is used, what happens to output? That is what we are going to study now. So the factor inputs are variable concept, whereas the enterprise or the sector in which like we are going to make a study, that is fixed. Okay, so it can be an agriculture sector or it can be an industry. And if you take industry, that particular industry, like if you take a pin making industry, then we are working on pin making industry alone. Okay, it is not that industry is fixed only for that one particular industry. We are going to make a study, but for everyone this will be working on. But while making a study, you should see that a same industry is taken, or and one particular enterprise is taken, and all the factors are put in, and we are making a study on. So that is the thing. Next, a worker works with the given tools and implements only. That is, there is no changes in the technology. Okay, normally we used to put it in that sense. So that is what they have given. So that tools, equipment, machines, everything is going to be the same. So there is no changes in the technology. So technological changes are absent. Absent in the sense we are not adopting to any new technology. Or again, like please don't keep it in mind that it means that they are using in traditional technology. That is also not there. They are using a particular type of technology. From that technology, they are not shifting. That is the concept. And there is some perfect competition. Mostly, if you take now, like all these traditional theories, they will be living on perfect competition. The meaning of perfect competition is that they don't change. Like everything is known to everyone, and the demand and the supply in the market will determine the prices. It will be an open market operation. That is, all the sellers, all the producers, all the consumers, everyone. If you take like they will be having a perfect knowledge on like what is happening in that market. It will be visible to everyone. There will not be anything hidden here. Like they will not be hiding anything there. So everything will be an open market operation where they will show all the changes, the price fixation, the supply, the demand, everything will be open. Everyone knows about the market condition perfectly. That is what is perfect competition. But nowadays, if you take like we don't have an example of perfect competition. We have an imperfect competition only. So imperfect means monopoly, monopolistic, oligopoly, duopoly. Like we have n number of market. This market structure, it is like a fifth, sixth, seventh units. When we are studying that time I will explain it. But generally speaking, perfect competition means a complete knowledge. Everyone will know what is happening in a market. That is the concept. Okay, so that alone is enough now at this time. So that's what they believe in, and the product is measured in quantities. So some quantities they are taken, and the same measurement is used throughout the experiment. So that is the assumptions. So these are not a very big deal on, but just we can just proceed with it. So here they have given a schedule. You can see a scale of production. So scale of production means the unit of inputs that is being used in the production process is explained here. So 1 worker, 2 acres. So the same proportion if they are increasing, 1 more worker and 2 more acres. So 2 workers, 4 acres of land. If it is used, what happens to the total output? That is what we are seeing. But this is happening in a same enterprise in the same. This is done by a particular person. He is getting involved in production of a same particular product. Okay, a same product, one particular product. So that is what the concept is. So if you see the total returns, the output, returns means the output. So the returns, if you see like it is so it is actually like if you see in bare eyes, like it will be like it is increasing only. Like it will show it is in an increasing trend. It is increasing. Why? Because more of inputs is used, so automatically there should be an increase only. But what is the marginal value? The marginal value will tell you whether you are having an increasing returns or a constant returns or a diminishing returns. So if you make a calculation of the marginal value, marginal is nothing but addition made to the total. Okay, so here also like marginal returns, if you want to take, this is also nothing but addition made to the total returns by using of additional inputs in the production process. Okay, so that is what is the marginal returns. So marginal returns, when you want to calculate, the first value, you will take it as it is. Second value, if you want to calculate, it is nothing but the second value minus the previous value. So 17 minus 8. So that will be giving you 9. So again, I'm calculating a marginal value that you can see that 27 minus 17, 10. And after, likewise, if I'm calculating, these are the marginal values. From this marginal returns, we can identify whether it is having an increasing returns or a constant returns or a diminishing returns. Okay. So here you can see the marginal values are increasing. So we call it as an increasing returns. When the marginal values are same, we call that as a constant returns. When the marginal value is declining, we call it as a diminishing returns. Okay, but total returns, if you make a calculation, if you see the total returns, it will be increasing only. Why? Because the inputs that we are using is also increasing. Okay, we are not using the same labor and the same land, nothing like same constant. Like we are making a variable, like the inputs that is used, they are increased. So automatically the returns will be increasing only. But if you make a calculation of marginal value, there you can identify whether it is increasing returns or they're showing a constant returns or a diminishing returns. So this is what a law of returns to scale says. Okay, so in a production process, all these three can happen. But exactly when does this happen? So if you take if you take this diagram, like you can see, marginal returns is measured along the y-axis, and along the x-axis, scale of production is measured. So in the initial stage, there will be an increasing returns. Okay, any business, if you take into account, in the initial stage, when a business is started, they will be having a increasing returns. So the proportion of using the inputs and the proportion of output that they are going to get it will be high in the initial stages. Already I have given an explanation why this happens in the initial stage. Initial stage, everyone will be what to say, they will be very eager to do a business. They will be doing their business with full enthusiasm, and they will be putting all their hard works there. So in the initial stages, this will happen. But after that, like once you reach a peak, once you reach a stable position, automatically the human behavior, it is so that like it is a psychological feeling actually. So it is psychological, it is the concept that after a certain period, you will not be working in the same way how you used to work in the initial stages of. So what happens is there will be a constant returns. Okay, and after a certain time, what it happens is that there will be a diminishing returns. Why? Because you have completely lost your interest on it. Like you want to make some new development activities in it. So that is what happens. So initially there will be an increasing returns, after that a constant returns, and then a diminishing returns. And this is one factor. This can be applied in any of the businesses. Another factor is that, like in a short run, only like you will be having this increasing returns or a diminishing returns. Okay. So increasing returns means like again, like when you are very active. So in the very short run, it will be, and when it is diminishing returns, automatically you will make some research and development activities, improvise. You will try to improvise your returns. So that is also a short-term concept. But actually, in long term, any business taken into account, in the long term, that is like if a business is working for 5 years or 10 years, 20 years, long term, they will be having only constant returns. Always they will have a constant concept. Okay. And then this constant returns is normally accepted in a business. Why? Because whatever that you are putting, you are getting it back. Like that is the condition. Okay, constant returns or no loss, no profit position, all are the same. That is, whatever that you are putting, you are getting returns to it, and that is what will be happening in a normal business. So for a longer time, if you go, the constant returns will be operated. So this is another point. Some other point is that, like if you take agriculture sector will be facing with this diminishing returns. Okay, why? Because here the fertility of the land is also important. So when once this land, like when it is cultivated, it loses its fertility, like its capacity. So what happens is when again and again the same plot of land is being cultivated, like you cannot get increasing returns, you will be having a diminishing returns. So for that, like you have to put lot of fertilizers, menus, and you have to get back that fertility of the soil, then only you can make your production process. So normally this diminishing returns happens in an agriculture sector. But other than agriculture sector, any other industrial sectors and all, if you take it, you can see that increasing returns will be operating. So you can, if you want to see the increasing return, that will be operating in only in a industrial sector. So that is another concept. And constant returns is like when you're running your business for a longer period of time, then normally the constant returns will be happening in your business, whatever the business that you are doing on. So this is what like we have learned from this returns. So nothing but like when you are using a particular proportion of input in the production process, by additional using of these scale in the production process, how your returns will be, whether your returns will be in a increasing order or a constant order or in a diminishing order. That is what is explained in this law of reference to scale. Okay, so it's very simple. So this is a general theory, okay? And here that they have given the reasons for it, like why there is sometimes you are having an increasing return, sometimes you are having a constant return, sometimes you are having a declining, decreasing returns. Normally the concept is, sorry, the same concept, actually we say economies of scale, okay? Economies means the advantages uh, advantages of using those combination or advantages of being in a particular industry, something like this. Economies means advantages. Diseconomies means disadvantages of. So the same factor can become an advantage to you, and it can be a disadvantage to you also. That I will explain later on. So based on that only, you are having this increasing returns or a decreasing returns and all. So while explaining the concept, I will explain it, but we will just to see all the reasons of why we are having an increasing returns and then constant returns and decreasing returns. Okay. So the very first reason of having an increasing returns to scale is indivisibility of factors. Okay, so there is a concept called indivisibility of factors. That is like, for example, if you are buying a machine or a tool or equipment, something for your business, the machine has a maximum capacity. Okay, so this like, for example, you will put some 1 lakh of rupees, and that machine capacity is that it can produce up to 1 lakh unit of that commodity. Okay, so that is the capacity. So, but when you're starting your business, the very first month itself, you will not produce 1 lakh. Okay, you will be producing only 1,000 units, or some cases even it can be like you will be producing only 100 units or 1,000 units, like this. That will be the production. So in the initial stages, what happens is that you are not using the machine or the equipment or the tool or the capital, whatever may be, okay, to its complete capacity, to its fullest capacity. So until then, you are going to use the same machine in the production process. So in the initial stages, it will be giving you an increasing return. That is the concept. Okay. So if it is after that, like when the machine gets depreciated only, it will come down, like it slow down its production process. Otherwise, until it is having its maximum capacity, until you use it to the maximum capacity, its production will be very good, or the investment that is put on that particular machine is going to serve you for a longer period of time. So what happens is, in the initial stages, you will be earning a increasing returns. Your productivity will be high. Why? Because you're not using the like the equipment to the fullest capacity. So that is what is indivisibility of factors of productions. Okay. So here they have given, you can see indivisibility means like that of a machine, management, labor, finance, anything that you can take it. It means that it cannot be available in a very small size. Okay. It has a particular size or particular capacity. So they are available only at a certain minimum size. So when a business unit expands, the return to the scale increases because the indivisibility factors are employed to their maximum capacity. Okay, so this is what I explained. So this is what I'm saying. So actually, a big size or a machine which has huge capacity will be brought into production at the initial stage itself. But until we use it to the maximum capacity, we will be getting a good returns. So once it is used, and then when it comes to a depreciation stage only, the productivity will come down. That's why after the next stage, we are having a constant returns, and after that, we are having a diminishing returns when the machine or equipment is completely got depreciated. Okay, so that is the concept of. So again, so this one concept itself, you can use it. Like what stage this particular machine is, that will decide upon whether you are going to get a increasing returns or a constant returns or a diminishing returns. Okay, point is clear. No, same like that. I'm saying everything. It is the reason for all the three stages. Okay, so the first one is indivisibility of factor, that is done. Next comes the specialization and division of labor. So that increases the capacity of production. Division of labor leads to specialization. Okay, in the very first class itself, I was talking about Adam Smith and his invent like experiment on pin making industry. So when 18 processes were done by a particular individual, he was not able to complete the task. But when he divided the 18 process and gave it to 18 different people, and when they were working, they were able to make the production, like it becomes easier. So that was the thing I said. In that time, I said another thing, that when they are doing a particular process again and again, they were able to get specialized in it. So they were making some innovations in the production process. So that was happening. So this is what we call it as the division of labor or specialization. So we know that. So in an industry can have an increasing returns when it encourages the specialization and division of labor. So if there is no specialization, then they will be having a diminishing return. So that is also there. So that is the second concept. Then comes this internal economies and external economies. This is what is the reason for all the three stages. When something is advantageous to us, it will be it will be contributing more towards the production. If the same thing becomes a disadvantage, then they will not be contributing towards the production. So that is what the concept is. But what is this internal and external economies? Economies means advantages. Okay. Internal and external means, suppose if you take, like there is an industry, and within that industry, there will be some thousands of firms. Okay. So thousands of units will be there within it. So as they are in that particular industry, what are the benefit that they are going to get it internally? Okay, so internally, as they are in that particular industry, they will be getting the raw material at a cheaper rate. Okay, or they can borrow money from the bank. Why? Because they belong to that particular industry. That industry is a very famous industry, so that all the firms which comes under this industry will be getting benefit out of it. So that is what we call it as a internal economies. The same thing, external economies means again the same thing only. Like you are in an industry and you are a firm under an industry. So all the advantages which is coming from outside, like for example, because that industry is there in that particular locality, there can be availability of skilled laborers. There will be possibilities of lots of transportation facilities will be there, marketing facilities will be there. Okay, everything. So due to which, like you are enjoying a benefit. So, so this is the economies. Economies means as you are being an part of an industry, what are the advantages that you are going to get it. So within the industry, what you are getting it, that becomes your internal economies. From outside, what you are getting, that becomes your external economies. Okay, so the economies becomes the reason for your increasing returns. Same likewise, diseconomies. The same concept can become a diseconomy if it is not available for you. Like for example, even though like you are in that particular industry, but the outside the laborers are not skilled laborers. Okay, then that becomes a disadvantages for you. And even though like you are there in that particular industry, there is no proper transportation facilities to that particular area. then that will become a disadvantageous. You are not near to the raw material availability. Like there is no suppliers available there to supply those raw materials which is needed for your production process. Then again, it becomes a disadvantageous. Okay, the same thing. It will be an advantage for certain people, and it will be a disadvantage for certain people. So whether you are having a or whether you are enjoying an advantage or disadvantage, that will decide upon your returns. So if you are having an economies advantage internally as well as externally, then you will be having an increasing returns. If you have a disadvantages internally and externally, you will be having a diminishing returns. So just for example, I'm quoting you this. Okay, in VIT, like we know, like you people are final year, like already you were there in the campus. You know, like there are lots of Xerox shops inside VIT. Okay, like you have one in SJT ground floor near the canteen, and in TT ground floor you have another Xerox shop, and near to Anna Auditorium there is a Xerox shop. All these things you know. Okay, so VIT, you take this VIT is an industry, and these are the small firms which is there within industry because they are serving VIT and they are inside. So their internal economy is that, like as they are inside, people like all the students those who are here, like they will be using these centers only, Xerox centers only. So that is the internal economies. Internally, they are enjoying. Why? Because it is inside, and the students, those who are studying in VIT, they will be finding it easier. Okay, easier as well as for them, like cheapest is not a matter, easier, like it becomes easy for you people to go and get the Xerox. And you know, like what happens here, just if you give a code number, like they will give you the complete material, so it becomes easier for you people, so you will not be worried about whether they are going to charge a little bit high or low, like you will be just buying it. So this is uh, these Xerox centers, they are enjoying the internal economies. Okay, why? Because they are within the industry. They are enjoying this. They are getting more number of customers compared to the Xerox center, which is outside VIT. Okay, outside VIT also there are a lot of Xerox centers, but how many of them are going there? Again, that will become a question mark. But inside they are enjoying more. External economies is that because VIT has developed, like you can see that there is lot of transportation facilities. There are lots of auto facilities, bus facilities. Likewise, there is lot of facilities through which like people can come and go. Those are working in the Xerox center because of VIT only. So this is what is internal and external economies. Okay, the same thing can become a diseconomy. That's what I'm saying. No. How this can become a diseconomy? Now you can take this pandemic period. Okay, so these 2 years during the pandemic period, I have never seen all these 3 Xerox centers working on. Why? Because for them, the students inside only the like what is it? The only place where they can market or their consumers or customers or the students of VIT alone. Outsiders cannot come inside. No. Okay. So for them, it has become a disadvantage because they are there in the VIT, because of VIT have closed, they are not functioning normally. So the business is going on, not going on for them. But the people those who are outside, for them the business will be going on. Might be like it will be dull. It will not be the same like how it was when VIT was functioning. But for them, the business has not ended there. Like they are having, why? Because for them the customer is normal people also. The normal people, the normal citizens, those who are outside VIT used to come to their places. So I have seen the outside Xerox centers working even now because they are serving for the normal people. Normal people, that business is going on. So might be a less business, but the business is going on. So now I think like you got the point of what is economies and diseconomies. The same concept, it can be an economies advantageous to you at a particular time, or the same concept can become a disadvantage to you at another particular time. So when it becomes a disadvantage, your returns will be less. When it is an advantage, your returns will be more. Okay, so the same, that is the concept. So you can take, so that is the reason why there is a constant returns to scale also. That is equally, if economies and diseconomies are equally spread over, then there will be a constant returns. And if there is a diseconomy, that will be leading to a causes for diminishing returns. Okay, so that is what they have explained. So I think like you have got the point of economies and diseconomies of scale, along with all these returns to scale. So this is the simple concept, simple theory, which explains about the production function. So according to me, it is not like it happens to a particular sector alone. It can happen to any sector, but normally we define or we classify that diminishing returns happens in an agricultural sector, whereas increasing returns and the constant returns can happen in other two forms of in any other sectors, like it can be in industry, tertiary, anything like it will be happening there. So the concept is over. Is that clear? Like, or do you have any doubts in it?